I follow some economists on YouTube, okay? And a lot of them are saying the same thing, okay? That there's a financial crisis, okay? Um, that's going to happen in the future. And I feel that, yeah, um, there is probably going to be some sort of monetary crisis in the future, okay? The reason why I say that is because if you look at the United States, okay, I hear that their national debt, okay, just the interest alone, okay, it increases the national debt of United States. Um, they have to pay about $1 trillion, okay, every not about 100 days, okay. I'll say that again, okay. The United States, okay, they have to pay $1 trillion on the interest, okay, on the money that they borrowed, um, to other countries, okay. Um, just to give you a rough idea how much $1 trillion is, okay. Um, $1 million, okay, um, will fill up a back of a truck bed, okay, about level to the top. Okay, that's $100 bills. Okay, $1 billion is about 7 or 8 pallets of $100 bills, about 6 feet high. Okay, so $1 trillion. Okay, I believe it's was it 999 billion. If you add one more billion, okay, that's $1 trillion. Okay, that's a lot of money. Okay, it's the number is so big, it's almost hard to comprehend how big the amount is. Okay, now just to print off $1 trillion. Okay, I just feel that okay, there's a lot of different things that could trigger this monetary crisis, just because when you're printing off that amount of money, okay, like a lot of things could happen. Maybe the paper that United States is printing the money on, okay, they have some sort of chain supply problem where, yeah, they just can't supply the amount of paper needed to print off $1 trillion, okay, or maybe the ink, okay. Um, they don't have enough ink for that maybe particular time, okay, to print off that amount of money, okay. Because what happens when, okay, um, the national deficit goes to $1 trillion every month or every 2 months, right? You see what I'm saying, right? It's the national debt is getting so high that um, when you're printing off that amount of money, okay, I'm sure it's causing some chain supply problems, concerns, okay, just because, like I say, you're printing so much money, okay, and I really feel that something like that could happen, because remember too, the banks are already preparing for this um, monetary crisis coming in the future. That's why they've introduced the CBDCs, okay, the central bank digital currency, because I think okay, when there is a monetary crisis, the banks are going to step in, okay, and tell the government, "Oh, we got the solution to your problem, central bank digital currency." Okay, so they'll come in with a new type of currency, okay, and remember, central bank digital currency, okay, it's a digital money, almost like Bitcoin, right? It's a digital currency, and it costs so much less to produce, right? Because you don't need, the print and press, the energy needed to print off all these bills too, right? the ink, the technology that goes into, you know, making those bills, right? I'm sure there's a lot of technology goes into making some of these bills, and the U.S. dollar is no different, along with a lot of other countries' fiat money too, right? Um, I see it as an opportunity. The reason why I say that is because a lot of times when there is kind of like a currency crisis, there's an opportunity to make lots of money. Okay. Um, I remember when the um, well, COVID 2020, um, when that crisis happened. Okay, there were a number of was it biopharmaceutical stocks just rallying like crazy, and yeah, I was up about $7,000 or $8,000 easy within the first week. Okay, and that was when I didn't know how to trade options too. Okay, had I knew how to trade options, yeah, I could have seen myself even while making a lot more money, right? But you know, um, I just want to let my subscribers know too that yeah, there's opportunity here to make a lot of money too. Okay. Some of the economists are saying, okay, buy gold and silver, right? Um, you know, if you can't afford gold, because gold is so expensive, right? Yeah, you can buy in increments, like, you know, 1/10 the ounce of gold, right? Too, right? Or a quarter ounce or a half an ounce. But look, for silver, for like, you know, um, 1 ounce of silver coin, okay, about $36 Canadian. Actually, I think it's more than that. I think it's about 42. Um, but look, you know, it's silver is almost going to be, well, it's getting quite expensive too. But you know, I could see silver being the next gold. Okay, it's going to it's just going to increase in value a lot more. Okay, because even I see some economists out there talking about silver. They're saying that you know, there's 7 times more money out there. Okay, this is how they deduct, you know, how, you know, why silver should, you know, be a lot more money. Some economists were saying that, okay, there's 7 times you know, more money out there, so the price of silver should be 7 times its value that it is now, right? So if you times that, okay, by 7 times, it comes out to around about $526, something like that, right? But I think when there is a currency crisis, okay, then the government has to gain the confidence of the general public again. And the only way they can do it is to probably do something with gold, okay? Um, Peg their currency 40% to gold, okay? Or even 20%, okay? But even if you peg 40% um, of gold to your currency, um, I can still see gold going up, like, you know, this is an ounce, okay? 1 ounce of gold going over $100,000, okay? So if you have like 5 ounces of gold, you're gonna be $500,000 richer, okay? I know that sounds kind of too far-fetched to be true, okay? But some of these things have happened before in the past, okay? Like when Roosevelt was president, okay? This was, I think, in the 30s or the late 20s. Um, Gold went from $20 to $35 an ounce, okay? But the government got involved to reprice the value of gold, okay? So that's almost 100% um, value increase right there, right? And you know, gold is something like what, $2,540 an ounce right now. Now, if if it increased in value, okay, by 100%, yeah, it would be just over about 5,080 5,080 US dollars, okay, and that might seem kind of far-fetched to you too, right? But remember, it's happened before in the past, right? um, and I can see the government maybe, well, revaluing the price of gold, right? um, but usually there has to be some sort of crisis happening at the time, right? um, and when the debt, okay, of the United States is so big, and a lot of economists are talking about it, that the U.S. government has to pay as much as $1 trillion on interest just on their U.S. debt. Um, you would think that, yeah, they would fall into some sort of supply chain problems, either the paper they use to print the money on, or even the ink, right? Or some other uh, material that they need to make these US dollars, right? Um, because I could see the Fed chair when, he was in the print and press area, and there was just pallets and pallets of uncut sheets of paper, okay, where the money was printed on, okay. So if you have like pallets and pallets of money, right, and you're trying to uh, well, of course, pay all these people that are involved in government, or even um, the people involved in the city, right, to run the city, right. There's a lot of people involved, right, and there's a lot of government employees too, right, that are involved in, well, running the country too, right. So it's a lot of money being printed, and I could very easily see something happening, okay. Um, and even sometimes too, okay, if you feel that your economy is very stable, nothing's going to happen. Um, take a look at Japan, for example, right? Um, their uh, their debt to GDP is like 260%, double of what United States is, okay, of their GDP to national debt. It's about, I think, something like 130% to their GDP. So even, okay, if Japan, for instance, okay, if they had some sort of um, monetary crisis, it would send ripples throughout the entire world, okay? Because I heard that Japan is holding a lot of US debt too, okay? So even if, okay, if they had a major currency crisis, it could easily affect their country, okay? And it would um, it would send shockwaves, okay, throughout the entire world in the monetary crisis, right? And the finance ministers, the governments, would have to get involved, okay, to try to solve this problem. And I think the only way they can solve it is to do something with gold, okay. And you have to remember, silver it kind of like correlates with the price of gold. Usually, when gold goes up, silver usually um, goes up too. It's supposed to go up, okay? Wouldn't be a bad thing either, okay? The reason why I say that is because, okay, if the value of gold goes up, okay, and a lot of people out there are making money, right? What are they going to do with that money? They're going to go out and spend it, right? Which in turn is going to help out the economy, okay? If gold did go to 10,000, and it's not a outrageous amount to to say, just because there's a lot of economists out there that feel that, yeah, gold is going to go to $10,000 an ounce. Um, and there's even some that say, it's going to go well over $100,000 an ounce, up to $126,000 an ounce if you include the national debt of the United States um, in there. Okay, for 1 ounce of gold will go to like 125, $126,000 an ounce. I don't think it's going to stay there for long. Okay, maybe a week to maybe a month, right? And then it's going to go back down because the government's going to try to stabilize stuff and just bring the monetary crisis under control, right? But it'll be an opportunity for a lot of common people to make a lot of money in the markets. Okay. Because this was when I was still a young teenager. This happened during the 80s. Okay. Silver went from $3, about $3.50 an ounce, all the way to like $50 an ounce within a short period of time. That was because the Hunt brothers were trying to corner the silver market. I heard that there was long lineups in these coin shops, sometimes even going around the entire block because they're trying to buy silver, right? But why buy it when the value is so high, right, already? Because you've basically missed out the opportunity of the climb, okay, from $3 to $50. You're gonna buy at the very top, right? And when you buy it, the value is gonna start going down, okay? But the thing was, they didn't know that, right? They thought that the value was gonna continue to go higher and higher, maybe even up to $100, so they'll double their money, right? But it didn't. The top was about $50, and then it started to go down, right? That's why too, when sometimes stock jump up like 100%, right? Sometimes I don't buy it anymore, just because I felt that I missed out on the opportunity, and it's already reached its peak, its top. If I buy in now, right, it's good just go down value. I'm gonna lose money, right? The secret is catching the stock when it starts increasing its value, and it's just starting its bull run. So what I mean by that is, okay, it's going up in value, right? And you're riding the value all the way up to the top, right?